How do I manage salespeople when they're not in the office and they're out remotely? There's got to be a way to do this. Recognize that managing salespeople might be like managing other adults. And as someone with 2 college-age children, I know that as much as I would love to monitor every bit of activity that they're following, all I can really do is provide a structure and a framework where I check in and provide some mentoring, but ultimately I'm setting a solid direction for them to achieve success in their endeavors. It's the same principle when it comes to managing salespeople remotely. In fact, there really isn't much value in us asking about their activity, because what we really want to measure in salespeople is their accomplishments. So what do I mean by that? Well, when it comes to managing salespeople, oftentimes what happens is we focus on when someone is underperforming. In essence, when it's already too late to do much about it, then we say, well, you haven't hit your numbers. You haven't achieved your results. What's going on? And there's not much we can do at that point. Instead, what we want to think about is co-building a plan together that says, okay, your goal is to do, let's say, $2 million a year. Now, do you think that's going to be spread out across 4 different clients at $500,000 each? Or do you think it's going to be spread out across 10 clients at $200,000 each? Or is it going to be some variation thereof? You might have some clients that are $20,000 and $30,000 clients. Another client might be $500,000 or $1 million client. So we start building that plan together. And in essence, the best way to effectively manage people, really, whether they're remotely or in person, is by asking questions so together we're building a plan. So we might say, okay, let's build this framework together. So we're going to have this number of clients at this level, that number of clients at this other level. Here are the different industries and where those are going to come from. And now we've agreed on the building blocks for our success. Then we get to say, okay, so what do you need to do in order to achieve those goals? And how will you know if you're not on track to get there? And once again, now we're co-building a plan together that says, here are the steps that we need to take in order to achieve this specific result. Once we do that, our management really just becomes a matter of checking in with them that says, these are the goals that we set out together. You told me here's what you needed to do in order to accomplish these goals. What in your path has changed? How can I help support you in order to accomplish that? Part of this is a function of having a defined methodology or process that people follow. Part of it is making sure they have a playbook to deal with specific situations that always come up with clients or prospects. And part of it is this idea of practice or role play with each individual so that they're not experimenting with clients, but instead they're getting guidance from you about real life situations. So next time you're thinking about how to manage people, instead of saying, don't do this, or why didn't you do that? Instead, take the time to build a plan with them, in essence, a recipe for delivering that outcome, rather than wondering why they didn't get there. If you have additional questions, or you want to find out how your team measures up in the same-side selling world, visit samesideselling.com and take the same-side selling assessment to see how everybody matches up.